Last time we looked at the job of a station staff, and now a film I've been really looking forward to, for it's time to head into the signal box. Welcome to Working on It. Hello folks, now I have a little confession to make. For I'm not really one who's suitable for this video. Like pretty much everyone else here at the Watercress Line, I'm a volunteer. The filming and the footplate is just a hobby of mine. And my day job is a signalman. So I can't really give you an outsider's perspective on the job. However, I do know someone who can.
My name's Richard. I'm Will's regular cameraman and, to quote the late Jerry Springer, because I've a face for radio and a voice for newspapers, he doesn't normally allow me in front of the lens, unless of course I've gone back to it. Will is a professional lever puller for the big railway, and it could be construed as cheating if we'd let him pretend he's a novice. So, in a moment of weakness, plus a small bribe in the shape of a donut from the local bakery, I said I'd step in as his understudy. What could possibly go wrong? My co-star and tutor today is Adrian, a veteran of the railway with a super sense of humour that he'll no doubt need, and an encyclopedic knowledge of signalling, a very small amount of which I hope he'll be able to pass on to me.
Hello, Richard.
Adrian, lovely.
Would you like to have you? Yes, a pleasure to see you. Would you like to have a look around the box?
I would love to. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Come in.
What I'd initially hoped was going to be one of those old chocolate dispensers disappointingly turned out to be a token machine. Apparently, it's one of the most important parts of our signalling system and is crucial to ensuring no trains occupy the same piece of line at the same time.
Now, the railway is single track between the stations, and we must only have one train on there at any one time. Okay, and that is controlled through this machine here, which is called a key token machine. And inside this machine, you can see some keys. Okay. Now the thing is that the driver of the train has to be in possession of one of these keys before he can go onto the single line section.
Okay.
So if I wanted to send a train from here up to Ropley, I require the cooperation of the signalman at the other end, because there's a similar machine to this, and the pair of the machines hold 13 keys between them.
Okay.
They will only let one key out at a time. So once I take out a key from here, I can't take out another key to send another train up to Ropley, and the signalman at Ropley can't take a key out to send a train down here. If I wanted to send a train up to Ropley, I'll get the key ready to take out of the machine, place it there, and I've got to get his permission. And we talk to each other using bells, and that knob there, on there, operates a bell like this here, okay?
And that'll be in his signal box.
That's right. So mine operates his, and the knob on his machine operates that bell here. So we talk to each other using bells. So I put the key in there, okay, and I press that once, it goes ding at the other end. And that means, have I got your attention, okay? And if I've got his attention, he will repeat back to me a ting on his machine, and that bell will go ting here. Okay. So that's the start of the process.
You've made communication with the other.
That's right. We talk to each other using the bells, because the bells are more accurate than trying to use telephones or any other sort of system.
And there's no confusion with bells.
Exactly. So because the whole system is based on safety and the safest way of doing things. Okay. So if I was sending a passenger train up there, the code for passenger train is 31. So I've got to ask his permission for that train to go up to Ropley, and he's got to have a certain set of circumstances up there to be able to accept it. So
when you say 3-1, that's 3 rings and then 1 ring.
Yeah, it goes, which it means like that. Okay, so that'd be 3-1. So I will ask him if he can accept that train. Okay, and he will know it's a passenger train because it's done 3-1. Now the certain criteria got to be okay up there for him to accept it. The line's got to be clear up to the signal that stops the train coming into the station up there, and also it's got to be clear after that signal for 1/4 of a mile in case the train overruns the signal. So if that's all okay for him to accept the train, he do a 3-1 back to me on this here, this bell up here, and then he will hold the button in when he does the 1, and I can extract the key out. Okay? So that's how that operates.
Having got an understanding of the purpose of the token machine and how it operates, we moved on to the one bit of the signal box that is instantly recognisable to almost everyone, the lever frame. Adrian gave me an overview of the layout here at Alresford and how we were going to use it to control the train around the station today.
This is the frame here, and what you actually see here is about a third of the levers, and the 2/3 are downstairs in the locking room, where various interlocking processes take place. Now, the red levers operate the signals, the black levers operate the points, which is the change of direction. The blue levers put like a bolt through the points to stop them from moving, okay? And the white ones are spare. So that's the levers. Now, this is a mechanical box, so what happens here is that when you pull one of these levers, with the exception of one signal, it's being pulled a long piece of wire connected to the signal that actually operates it. There's no electric motor or anything. It is, when you pull that, you're actually putting a load of wire.
activity to make it work.
And in fact, the thing about it is that you really need to know that when you've actually pulled the lever in here, it's done what it's supposed to have done on the ground. So we have here things called repeaters. Okay. And there's a little electric box by the arm of the signal, so that when the signal goes down, inside that electric box, there's a lever that goes from one terminal to the other and operates these little red...
Makes a contact.
That's right, yeah, it makes the contact. So the thing is, if you pull the signal off, which means go, okay, and it becomes slack because of the temperature, that needle might sit in there, okay, which means that the signal's neither showing off or on, okay.
As Adrian explained the intricacies of the signal box workings, I was struck by the underlying complexity of what, on the surface, looked to be a simple system. I've got a background in software development and could see it would be a challenging problem to solve in code, but the fact that the locking and interactions between points, signals and levers were all done mechanically was amazing and a real tribute to the skills of Victorian-era engineers. We were suddenly interrupted by what I thought was the doorbell. Unfortunately, it wasn't the good people from the West Country buffet bringing us a cuppa. It was the token machine letting us know the day's locomotive would soon be wending its way down to us from Ropley.
That way. It's only facing movements. Right, so he's caught my attention now. That means he wants to send me a light engine. I can accept it, so I'll reply back and I'll hold the button in. Holding it in 3. If you watch that little needle there, I know when he's taking it out of the machine, which he should have got by now.
So
and then that goes over to tell you that he's got it out, and he's also sent me an acknowledgement that he's got it out.
Okay.
So I've got to record all of that before I do anything else. That's 50.
There was time for a bit more theory before the token machine sprang into life again, this time with 2 bells, the signal that the loco was on its way. Adrian firstly set the points and then cleared the signals ready for its arrival.
Morning, Ian.
Morning, Adrian.
Morning.
With the loco attached to the train, we headed back into the box and I took the opportunity to check with Adrian that I'd understood what had been going on.
Okay, so the locomotive's arrived.
Yep.
We've taken the key.
Yep.
And we've checked that the key's the right key.
Yep.
The locomotive's still in section. For it to travel back now to Ropley,
Yes.
do we need to put the key into here
Yes.
and then release it, or we can't just keep the
No,
key
you
to
can't
go
keep
back?
the key. For every movement in the section, the key comes out and goes back in.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm putting the key back in and telling the signalman at Ropley now that the train has arrived. So that's 2-1, it's out of section. So
Okay.
I've got the key, I'll stick it in the machine,
All right.
okay, and I'll give him 2-1. And he should acknowledge that, and that should go over to there then, which it has. And I have to record everything that goes on. So
As the engine simmered away on the platform, we prepared for the departure of the first train of the day. Whilst Adrian contacted the Ropley signalman for the token, cleared the signal and headed down to the platform to give the token to the driver, I watched intently, trying to keep up with everything that was happening. Being a one-train service, we had some time to wait until the next arrival, and this gave me the chance to chat to Adrian about what got him into volunteering down here at Watercress Line.
So, Adrian, what got you into signalling then and coming down to the railway?
well, I mean, years ago I used to work on BR and I was very interested in the signalling there. That wasn't my job. I had passed some exams for doing it.
Yeah.
And then when I finished work, I thought, oh, I'd quite like to get involved with that sort of thing on a preserved railway. And I'm very glad I did, really, because it's a very interesting railway and you meet lots of different people, both members of the public and staff. And I started off at Ropley Station on the platform there.
So the progress to become a signalman is from the platform staff.
For the platform staff, there are various training modes for doing station work, and if you pass on those, then if you want to, you can be considered to do higher training either on guard or on signalling. And over the course of the years, I've done both of those. When you start doing signalling, you start at this box initially, and then what happens after that is that if you become proficient at this box plus all the rules and regulations, then you'll be able to take over this box, and then after a while, if you want to be, you can be trained to use the other signal boxes down here. And then you do also an examination every 2 years, and an assessment every 2 years to make sure that you're still on the ball with all the rules and regulations and the way the system works. No, it's a great place to work. You meet lots of interesting people, and you can decide what you want to do. I mean, some people, they might learn this box and be quite happy just doing this box, and that's that as far as they're concerned. Or they might be happy on a platform, and that's what they do. Or after you've been here after a few years, and you think, oh, I'd like to try something different. There's so many other things that need to be done down here, you know? Because a lot of the people who work down here just don't work on the job that you see them doing, but they do all sorts of other things as well. So that's quite common. So yeah, it's a great place to work.
You get a great feeling, I think, down here of a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people with lots of different interests and backgrounds, but it feels really good, close-knit community.
It is a close community. Yeah, it is like a family. Yeah. It's like the railway used to be back in the BR days.
In what seemed no time at all, we received notice via the bells that the train was leaving Ropley towards us. Adrian, poised as ever like a coiled spring, shot into action. I thought things were beginning to look up for me when Adrian said it was about time I pulled, but sadly he only meant have a go with the levers. He handed me the cloth he used to protect his shiny levers from my donut-stained hands and told me to set the points and clear the outer home signal. The first signal the driver would otherwise have to stop at. Simple.
So the train's now in section, so you now need to pull the signals off for the train to go into platform 1. So you will pull number 1, which is the outer home signal, followed by number 4, which is the inner home signal to platform, and number 13, which is the shunt signal at the end of the platform. So it's number 1 to be pulled off first.
This is the heavy one, isn't it?
It's very heavy, that one.
Adrian obviously had 3 Weetabix that morning. Other breakfast cereals are available, because it took some pulling, I can tell you.
Then 4.
After a quick lesson about how to catch the token and a stern warning not to drop it under the train under any circumstances, I was dispatched to the platform edge, ready for my first game of Signalman's Hoopla. Much to my relief, it all went okay, managing to get it on my arm, not over my head as I thought the train crew might try to do to a novice. Thanks, lads. The locomotive ran round to the front of the train, and it was time to get ready to send it back to Ropley. Having managed to convince Adrian I wasn't a complete imbecile, he let me offer the train to the signalman at Ropley, though he was watching closely to ensure I didn't make a mess of it.
Wait a minute, he's going to have to give you another tin, okay.
Well, as they say, pay peanuts, get monkeys. Guess what? I didn't rotate it far enough and couldn't get it out. After a bit of a hand from Adrian, we cleared the signals out of the station and I passed the token to the crew, enabling them to set off for their second trip of the day. With a bit of time before their return, we had a chance to relax and take in that unique atmosphere a signal box on a preserved railway has. It's a special place anywhere, but I doubt there's many that's better than at the Watercress line. Tempus fugit, that's time flies for those of you who don't speak Latin, and we were soon being offered the train back once again by Ropley Box. Our train rolled in, ran round, and off it went for one last return trip to Walton. In what seemed no time at all, it was on its way back to us for the last time. Depositing its coaches in platform 1 for the night, it ran round and, with the token in the crew's possession, headed back to Ropley, light engine. It was a great day. That was in no small part down to Adrian, whose kindness and willingness to share his experience and knowledge was greatly appreciated. He was a great tutor and fine company. Thank you. To be honest, though I'd never pulled the levers or operated token machines, I did have some knowledge of signalling before today. But it was only having had the chance to do the job that all the pieces of the jigsaw started to fit together, along with the realisation that it's not easy. Yes, you can pick up the basics fairly easily, probably enough to successfully, if not quickly, deal with the arrival and departure of a service at a simple box like Alresford. But that's not the real skill. In many ways, it's a bit like being an airline pilot. You don't earn your money for the day-to-day stuff. It's when the manure hits the air management system that you need to know what you're doing. If I drop the token under the train or seen the tail lamp missing, that's when you need to know more than what lever to pull. There's rules, regulations and operating procedures that take time to learn and the experience to safely put them into practice. And a day in the box playing Signalman was never going to get me to that level. And for me, that emphasised what I'd quickly realised during my short time on the film unit. The Watercress Line isn't a bunch of nerds playing trains. It's a lot of highly skilled, capable and dedicated individuals, paid and volunteer, who as a team run a real railway, one that would be the envy of some countries. It's something we should all be proud of. I know I am. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you next time.